Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Alex Coffey, Senior Market Strategist at Charles Schwab, to discuss technical levels to watch in the Nasdaq-100 as many of its constituents report earnings over the next few weeks. It's great to see you as always, Alex. Welcome back to Trade Talks, and let's take a look at some fresh technical levels to watch. We know we have some key heavyweights reporting over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. If we take a look at the Nasdaq 100, it's obviously been on a huge run to the upside, mostly driven by those magnificent 7 names, and maybe you throw in an AMD or a couple others that aren't included. But as a result, it kind of took a lot of the technical levels that we had talked about over the last year kind of off the table. So what I did is I extended the time frame a little bit and noticed something quite interesting. If I connected a high from August of 22 to the middle parts of last year, and then built a channel off that going down to the lows at the the latter parts of 2022. It created our same stoplight-like set of lines and price levels, but in a way that was more relevant to the current price and trading. What you'll see is that red line, which we've oftentimes utilized as sort of our area of maybe paring down some risk as we reach resistance, kind of expecting a potential pullback maybe down the line based off of what we've looked at and how we know red meaning stop on the stoplight. What I noticed was it basically perfectly found the point where the market ran out of momentum towards the end of 2023, so just a few weeks ago, but we have broken through that now. So what I'd be looking for is that to potentially act as a support level, or for it to break back into that longer dated channel. Now that level is just a couple hundred points below where we're at, and it's a constantly moving target. But you'll notice as well that yellow line had acted as a pretty interesting point throughout much of last year. And of course, that green line has not really seen meaningful breaks below it. But just a representation going back over the last couple of years of just how strong the Nasdaq's been.
And if we take a look at VolQ, of course, the volatility measure on the Nasdaq-100 index, I'm sure we're seeing some of the inverse there.
Yeah, no doubt. It's certainly come down tremendously. This is the same time frame going back up July 1st of 2022. We've seen volatility come out of the market tremendously. And we came into 2023 with elevated implied volatility. Bars were set relatively low and then allowed for outperformance throughout most of the year. The table's somewhat flipped now. The bars are set a little bit higher as valuations got stretched, and implied volatilities are largely compressed and suppressed versus where they've been the last few years. Notably, though, it has moved up off the lows, maybe some of that due to the fact that we have all these powerhouse earnings in the next few weeks.
And finally, Alex, let's take a look at the heat map here. It seems as if it's somewhat of a mixed bag today.
It really is, and not a lot of bright colors on the screen is indicative of kind of a quieter, more of a tug-of-war type of a session. And it's not to be surprised, I'm not surprised to see that we got Netflix this afternoon. We got Tesla tomorrow afternoon. And then we're going to get into all these tech names, the big ones, the next few weeks. There's a lot of uncertainty on the table here in the near term. And then, of course, some of that macroeconomic data we'll get at the latter half of the week. So today's sort of the calm before the potential storm, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Alex, it feels as if volumes have been relatively muted, certainly going into earnings season. What are you seeing in terms of the data over at Schwab?
Yeah, what I'd say is, the trading volumes, one easy way that I look at just sort of trading volume on a daily basis is just how many E-mini S&P futures are trading, be that Nasdaq, be that S&P 500. And it's been pretty healthy, over 1 million pretty consistently. We see that again. So it's not that it's been super low volumes on that front using that measure. It's just been more kind of muted volatility. And again, I'm not completely surprised to see that, given we have all these fundamental updates in the next few weeks that could really determine where we go next.
All right, Alex, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.